Anyway, we arrived in Atlanta where they met Barry and Kava and Ash
and where you saw Rainbow Hawk's son.
Rainbow Hawk's son, and she got her staff, and let's see, there's quite a few other people, from the family. What's our compost fella's name? That does it? Mulch? That whole, that crowd. Anyway, she met a hierarchy kind of guys that were not quite all babblers, but at least got things done, And then I went to North Carolina in what was that, 87, eh? Yeah, 87. I went to North Carolina. I went to North Carolina from Virginia. I bought a station wagon and drove in. Oh boy, that's another story. Getting through the fence. Getting through the fence in North Carolina. Coming in, leaving my station wagon, I don't know what, on a hill somewhere on one of them side streets, and walking all the way in and getting a hold of somebody and getting a shuttle pass and walking all the way out and, putting it on the front of the thing and saying, look, I'm not going to shuttle anybody, man. It's already full of shit.
It's the Society of Hallminers.
I'm taking this shit in for somebody already.
Where's your shuttle pass?
And they said, okay, and they just waved me through. It was like, boom. And then so much for that, Copper. I was inside, and all my hash was inside, and my big bag of grass, and my pound of mushrooms, and about 2 pounds of pot. It was, I came to that gathering ready. And I just bought the station wagon for $750, and Mercury station wagon, and it got there, boy. I mean, it got there. Right down the Virginia roads. I bought it on 3rd, and I was there in time for the night of the 3rd. 4th, I had my car up on the land as a shuttle. But Moran, get down. Yeah, that was the North Carolina get there. And then, like I say, we went. I met her at Gettysburg, and Amanda and I met at Gettysburg, and then we went to Atlanta together. And then we've been to regionals. We were in the Vermont regional 3 years ago, or whatever it was, 4 years ago, before the gathering.
Must be 4 years.
It was one of the best regionals I've ever been to. About 1,000 people on that site that we were at this year. Only 1,000, maybe 1,200 altogether, and it was killer. But certainly we knew then that we could handle up to 20,000. There wasn't any question. We knew we could do it, especially if they flattened out of their meadow. So all the discussion about going to some other place and all that stuff, and searching and waiting for the spirit to give us. You sure you're not shooting right at the shoe?
No, man, my shoe's over here on the right hand side of the picture. Okay. I got it. I know where my shoe is.
Would you like to get off the chillin'?
You gave me well for photographing.
Hey, he tells me he does this all the time. He's wonderful.
Just do it.
Yeah, he does.
He does great. He tells marvelous stories.
So you didn't go to the Texas
No
Nevada
way.
or Minnesota gatherings?
No,
Did you give us any report about any one of those 3 gatherings? Or?
What's his name? Texas.
Texas Tech.
No. I'll think of it in a second. How could I miss it? White Owl and Sailor. No, but what's his name in Texas? No. It's like a Frenchie. Like a French name. How's that? Good remember, man. No, sure. Frenchie. And
right around here?
No, Frenchie and White Owl.
Frenchie's from Tennessee.
From Tennessee.
Yeah, isn't that his name that lives in Texas?
Well, he was in Texas.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
the
he
one
used-
that wanted the
he used
Texas
to always
gathering.
All right. So we're talking about the same guy. Okay.
in Port.
Was he an old person? Had he been around for a long time?
Yes, he's been
He's
around for a long time.
Original family.
Original family. So he had a right to want to have it in Texas if he wanted it.
Sure.
He railroaded Texas.
Sure, he had a
He
right
railroaded
to.
Texas.
But everybody has a right to. That's not the
I
thing.
was just thinking. I was just thinking the other day. I said,
You can see that I'm right.
We
Texas
followed
was
the
a
North
problem.
Carolina, and then we followed the Texas after that. Both of those are like Frenchy sites, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know. North Carolina sucked. Katua family had picked another site, and
Yeah.
Frenchy and company came in and said, "No, we're going to do it over here." And they picked a massacre site. It was awful. People were having bad dreams. Everybody got sick. The tree, I mean, circle.
Turn it on her. Turn it on her. Well, you don't mind being?
You're Frenchy.
No, I don't want to be.
All right. Okay.
stereotyped.
All right. Okay. Well, I thought you were, because this is like he's documenting family how gatherings went down and stuff.
Family history.
And
No, it's just him.
and I know that you could validate. I know that you would validate the idea that the common mash thing sort of turned around at West Virginia and then in California it really became calm.
See, I'm not an old gatherer. Pennsylvania was my first, but I've been following it ever
See?
since. Real close.
Everybody thinks you've been around forever.
Yeah.
You
Well,
made
right in
yourself
like a loose
indispensable. We think that you should be awarded. You're from the original. You're an original.
I was doing it since
Wait,
72
that's the only way.
anyway.
See, since 72, that's original.
But I
Yeah,
just
see,
never
see.
met the Rainbow family. from
Yeah.
She was a family before she
There's a
did
lot
it.
of rainbow before the mist got together.
Okay.
But anyway, that was one of the things that, you know, if you can see, Texas was a problem. You can get a discussion about it any time and any day,
Texas
wherever
was a
you're at
problem.
amongst rainbow. Well, yeah. And the primary thing that I was getting at is, you said, is it a right? It's anybody's right. But it's whether or not there's a vision there. And if there's a vision there, then there ought to be some support for that vision. That is, the vision isn't just for the 10 days of the gathering. It covers the year of the build-up for it and the trail away.
I wouldn't want to be in Texas.
And
for a year.
okay, and unless you can show that you can hold down a regional gathering, which is just a blip on a year in your area,
Yeah.
right? How can you ask somebody to bring a $10,000 school bus into your place with their stones and rocks and whatever, etc.? You got what I'm saying? And take a chance on being tipped over on the side or locked up and impounded or all the other nonsense.
Yeah.
Now that's the problem. And Texas is another problem. It is South and Mason Dixon. It is,
Oh, really?
Et
People
cetera, et
feel
cetera.
that way about it.
well, Texas is Texas, and it's always going to be Texas unless.
Texas is always Texas.
Well, actually,
Well, Ann Richards is having a really good influence on it right now. I have to say that.
Who?
It's the mayor, the governor now down there.
Well, they got
Just the fact that women have come to the fore in Texas
I think it both.
and
I
beat
think
the
both.
socks off of
I think both
cowboy.
both those southern things. It wasn't the local so much because I mean Texas has the right of the individual, and they're really into that. I mean, but the feds thought the feds found that was the perfect place to jump on people. in
Yes,
the South.
exactly. In other words, when you bring them in and you trap us there, now we're like
But you don't
warriors.
feel that way about anywhere else. You don't feel that way about Vermont or
No, Vermont is
No, they can't ride over you in Vermont the way they can ride over. Texas is big. It's big enough that they can. Oh, we got them down in the or like the Carolinas. We got them in the swamps down here. What are they gonna do? You know, there's only some black people living, and what can they do? You know, in Vermont or something, there's more like New Age people who would object to
We've
something.
been
like,
there since the 60s.
Yeah.